So during your lifetime of trying to get good at this instrument, you're going to experience a lot of small victories and a lot of setbacks. Some of those setbacks you might not have too much control over. Sometimes life just gets in the way, but a lot of those setbacks you actually do have control over. You can kind of get in your own way if you're not paying attention. So in this video, I'm just going to give you some friendly advice, maybe a few tips. After 30 plus years of playing and experiencing quite a few setbacks myself, there's a couple of things that I think if I paid attention to them earlier, might not have affected my progress as much as they did. Progress killer number one. I want to start with this one because, in my opinion, it's probably the biggest one and the most important one. Comparing yourself to other drummers. Now, this is something that I've done millions of times over the last 30 years. I still do it, as a matter of fact. Sometimes you just can't help it. But comparing yourself to other drummers is never a good idea. We're kind of at an age now where Instagram drummers dominate the scene, and everybody's up there showing off and chopping away like crazy. If you're a new drummer, if you've been at it, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and you're seeing all this stuff, it can be super intimidating. And there's no worse feeling than watching somebody do something and convincing yourself that you're never going to be able to do it. So it doesn't really matter who it is, like whether it's, the Instagram hero drummer person, or even one of your heroes, someone that you look up to and admire. It doesn't really make any difference. If you look at them and think you're never going to be able to do that, it's going to cause you to quit. You have to realize that everybody's personality is different. Everyone's skill level is different. But that's all it is. Just different. Not better, just different. The key to that whole thing is to you got to learn how to look at drummers as a source of motivation and not as, some sort of gauge or bar that you need to set for yourself to think that you need to get that good, because you don't. You have to just learn how to embrace your personality on the kit. If you just so happen to be more of a groove player than a chops player, then guess what? That's okay. So that's the big thing, number one. But just stop comparing yourself to other drummers. Embrace your own personality, learn at your own pace, learn what you want to learn, and just develop your own skill set. Progress killer number 2 is limiting yourself musically. And by that I mean, while you're learning how to play, you might have a particular style of music that you're into. Don't just stick to that one style of music. It's super duper important if you're gonna be a drummer, especially if you aspire to be a working drummer, you gotta expose yourself to as many different styles of music as you can. The thing about this though is that nobody can force you to do it. You're either into a bunch of different styles of music or you're not. If you just decide that you want to be a gospel drummer, or you want to be a rock drummer or a jazz drummer, and you're cool with just sort of pigeonholing yourself that way, then hey, that's your thing. But one thing I can promise you is that you're going to be missing out on a world of different techniques, different styles, your vocabulary. You're going to shorten it severely if you just sort of stick to just one style of music. But the more styles of music that you listen to, the more drummers you're going to be exposed to, and you're just going to end up learning way more stuff. If you're finding yourself currently at a plateau, you just feel like you're bored, you're not really getting anywhere, maybe step out of the zone that you're in. Just go out and explore different types of music and discover different drummers and see what they're doing. The thing about drums is that it's all one language. It's all the same language that's just interpreted different ways in different parts of the world. A triplet in North America is still going to be a triplet in Africa, but it's going to be played differently. That might interest you. You might be interested in where they put the accent versus where we're used to putting it. And you might take that idea and try to incorporate it in your own style of playing. The bottom line is, the more broad your musical tastes are while you're in the learning stages, the better off you're going to be down the line, because you're going to be checking all of this different music out, and you're just going to end up discovering new rhythms, new everything. Progress killer number 3. Some of y'all might actually take this a little lightly. I urge you not to, because it's pretty serious. Ignoring the practice pad. Now, when I first started out playing, as a lot of you may know, I spent my first 3 years just playing the music. That's all I did. I don't regret that one bit. The one thing I do regret is not messing around with a practice pad until several years later. Now, it just so happens that, there've been a few periods where I wasn't able to play. I didn't have access to a kit for whatever reason. I know one time was renovating the basement, so I didn't have a kit to play on. Other times, I just kind of moved around, didn't really have a place to set up my kit. And all I had was a practice pad in front of me. That is when I discovered just how valuable that thing is. It's during those times when I didn't have the kit to play on, I just spent all my time on the pad and I just started working my hands. Just playing a whole bunch of singles, doubles, just getting the hands nice and loose, and then just learning a bunch of rudiments and playing them. After that time, when I finally got the chance to sit back around the kit, after spending all that time in the practice pad, I was shocked. I distinctly remember stopping once in the middle of playing and looking at my hands and thinking, what just happened here? Everything just felt better. Everything was smoother. Everything just felt easier. It was a game-changing moment. And from that day, even up until today, I spend at least 3 times as much time on a practice pad as I do on the actual kit. So for you new drummers out there, beginner drummers, intermediate drummers, if you really want to accelerate your progress, I urge you, invest as much time as you possibly can on a practice pad and work on those hands. So I only decided to list 3 here because I wanted to start a conversation. So now I want to hear from you guys. Like, drop something in the comments. If there's any experienced drummers out there that have experienced like any major setbacks, things that you think might help some of the younger drummers coming in behind you, just drop it in the comments section. Let us know. The goal while we're learning how to play this thing is really just to sort of experience as many small victories as frequently and as uninterrupted as we can during the journey. So that's it for me, man. I'm out. But before I go, just wanted to mention real quick, for those of y'all out there that are watching that grabbed a piece from my limited Puma collection that came out last year, the Rooted in Rhythm collection. So you got the hoodie or the t-shirt or the jogger. That super cool logo is now available in a bass drum sticker. These very cool die-cut 5x5 bass drum stickers are now in the shop. So you can grab one if you want. Link will be in the description box. Just head over to RobBrownOfficialApparel.com. Snatch you up one of these, or maybe 5. I don't know, it depends on how much stuff you need to stick something on. But yeah, make sure you visit the merch shop on the way out. You can get yourself some cool swag. Good way to support the channel. You can also support this channel on Patreon, or if you feel like leaving a small donation, you can do that as well. All of that information is down below in the description box. New viewers, new subscribers, welcome. This is what we do here. We talk about drums, and it's a whole lot of fun. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out. There is a subscribe button. Mash that before you bounce. Share this video if you dig it. Like, subscribe. See you next video.